Hi everyone, Jane here. Thank you so much for watching today and welcome. Today I'm going to be using this little set of 12 Kuretake Gansai Tambi paints. Now if you've been watching my channel for any amount of time, you will know that I really enjoy using these paints, and I do have the 36 set as well as the Art Nouveau, but from the 36 set there's missing 12 colours that would be in the 48 set. So this is the set that sort of completes that for me, and I got these from the Amazon resale, I think it's called, or something like that. It's the part of the Amazon website that sells on returned items or things that are slightly wrong with them, and you can get them at a slightly cheaper price. So I thought, to save myself a couple of pounds, I'd get it from there. And they came without the plastic insert and no packaging on the outside, but that was okay for me because I already knew what I was buying. But the actual paints themselves were totally fine, hadn't been used, and they are exactly what I need. They hadn't been swatched or anything like that. So the colours I am swatching into the lid just so that I've got a little record, and they're really pastel-y type shades. And the colours that are in this set are Cherry Blossom Pink, Lilac, Horizon Blue, Cobalt Blue, Lime Green, Greenish Yellow, Natural Beige, Rose Beige, Indian Red, Maroon, Grey and Blue Grey Deep. And I really was very keen on this lime green. That was the main reason why I wanted to top up this set. And I did check that these are the 12 colours that would be added to the 36 I've already got, that would then make the total 48 set. So I decided that because I had these and I've swatched out in the lid, I wanted to do something a bit fun, low pressure and a bit abstract in my Dina Wakley watercolour art journal. So I'm starting off with some painter's tape around the edges. So the one that I'm putting around the edges is the Scotch tape. It's a bit wider and also down the middle. And then I'm putting a slightly thinner tape across the middle and then down vertically on each page as well, because I wanted it to not be as wide as the Scotch tape, but I wanted to make some sections because I wanted to just have a bit of fun with these colours. So I'm just going in, adding some of the lime green to start with, because like I said, that was what really attracted me to this set of colours. I really wanted this lime green. I'd seen other people use it. Then I'm going in with the cobalt blue and I'm mixing it in a little bit with that lime green to get some different shades as well. I was making sure I was putting something in each of the squares, but I wasn't really thinking too much about how I did that. And I just wanted to give it a little bit of a dry before I added the next colour, because obviously if you start adding lots and lots of colours when they're all watery, then eventually they're going to start mixing up into more of a muddy sort of look. Now I'm going in with the Cherry Blossom Pink because I wanted a little bit of contrast. And it was at this point that I thought, oh, these are really sort of Easter egg type colours. And as it is Easter coming up at the end of this week, over the weekend, I thought that this was quite apt. And it sort of influenced, I think, the way that I carried on with this spread. So once I'd added in my pink, I decided just to add some splodges, literally splodges of the lilac. And so I was really just not putting any pressure on myself to create anything amazing. I just wanted to have a little bit of fun. So because I wanted to continue that sort of fun way of working, I grabbed some of the Tempera paint sticks. I think most of those are from the pastel set, and also some woodies, and I just picked colours that matched the colours I'd already put down, and I'm just going in with some marks, starting off with the turquoise woody, and these are Stabilo woodies, and they are a water reactive pencil, so you can water them out. Did I water them out? I don't think I watered these out. No, I was just using them as a pencil. And I just went in with some lines, and then I went in with some circles. And then I was filling the circles with the Tempera paint sticks. I tried smudging them with my finger. That didn't really work. So I went back over, and then I was just really sort of letting loose, just having some fun, getting the colour down. And it really was starting to look a little bit like Easter eggs, like candy type Easter eggs. And I really loved the pastel shades and I loved the circles, and it was such good fun to make this spread. So just going in with the different shades of the pastel tempera paint sticks. They are a product that is made for children, so they are not light fast, I should imagine, in any way. There's no pigment information, but they are going in my journal. They are not going to be, being used anywhere else. Then I thought, I know, I want to just add something round all these circles to really emphasize them. So I'm going in with the Kuretake gold ink that's in this Fineliner bottle. I started it off on the page just to make sure that it was flowing correctly. Then I went in with some little dots as well. So some of them inside the circles, some of them going in and outside the circles, just for a little bit of added texture and interest. And I did then have to make sure this was dry, because this gold ink, especially if it's quite raised and thick, will take a bit longer. I didn't want to be smudging it. So once that was dry, I then wanted to add in some big chunky white, because I did feel that I was missing a little bit of contrast in the pages, I should say. And so I'm just putting some marks down with this Posca Pen. It's the 8K. I was trying to splatter with it there a bit, but I couldn't do it direct from the pen. So what I did was I put some out onto my mat. Then with my fan brush and a little bit of water, I just sprinkled some splatters on just to add that little bit of extra contrast. And then again, making sure that that was dry before I did the next stage, which I do believe is removing the tape. Now, sometimes I don't worry too much, but certain papers do seem to tear a little bit more with tape than others. This is one of those that does a little bit. So by just adding a little bit of heat, it just warms the gum up and just loosens it a bit. It did, you might have seen on the tape there I took from the center, it did take that a little bit more onto the tape. But it's in, as I say, it's in my journal. I don't worry when things are in my journal. Now, I did feel that, like I said before, but with the contrast of the white, I was missing that sort of light and dark. So where I now added in that extra lightness with the white, I decided I did need to add a little bit of dark in. I did debate whether, with myself, not with anybody else, whether to add a whole border around each of the rectangles, but I decided just to go in with a little bit on the corners, so 2 corners of each of the rectangles, just with some dots and dashes, just to sort of add a little bit of darkness, but also just a hint of a frame for them. I didn't want to totally frame them, but I just wanted a hint. And then I decided to add in some dots. Now, the pen I'm using here is the Lumos from Tom's Studio, and it's got, I can't remember what nib. It's the nib that a number of videos back I put in it to show how the Lumos worked. It's a pen that has reusable, like changeable nibs, so you can change it for different nibs, and it's a refillable sort of felt core that you use. So here is the final piece. It was so much fun to do. I hope you enjoyed it and it inspires you to do some no pressure arting. And if you have enjoyed it, do please give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already subscribed, I'd love it if you could subscribe and maybe hit that hype button if you see it as well. And at the end of the video, you will see a list of my lovely super supporters. These are my YouTube members, and I'll put some info about that in the description box as well. So until the next time, thank you for watching and bye-bye.